Yeah, so this is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and you're watching Star Trek Discovery Binge Watch, and and that's only a couple of days later. Yeah, so this one was called Despite Yourself. This episode is the Silly Trek, it started the Silly Trek arc in the story, the Starship Locations arc. They go to the Mirror Universe. So suffice it to say, okay, let me explain that. Jonathan Frakes directed this one. We have Silly Kelly cameo, and everything. So yeah, cool. He's on the Shinzao and he gets killed like earlier. But yeah, so yeah, cool. Yeah, he actually didn't give that away. I'm totally surprised. That's funny. So, yeah, so cool. So I was not there, but somebody I know was there. But that's cool. Yeah, this one wasn't bad. Yeah, they end up in the Mirror Universe, which was the end of the last episode. So this is an arc, I guess they're building to, and the rest of the series, I understand. At least this 3-part story is this one disc, I guess, is the rest of this disc is in the Mirror Universe. So, here we have they end up in this other universe, and it's Starship Locations or Silly in Space. It's a spoof of Star Trek. So in that universe, the Borg and the Mirror Universe are kind of the same thing. So the Borg aren't cybernetic zombies in Silly Trek or Silly in Space. They're just disenfranchised copies of us of our characters from Silly in Space that have gone on and been left behind. So they're angry at us. So they come after us. So we have doubles and doppelgangers and everything going around in our game. Sorry, series goes way back to the 80s. So yeah. So in like the Mirror Universe in Star Trek, it's sort of the doubles that are the evil villains, basically, more or less. So yeah, they go to in the story they're doing. It's interesting that Next Generation never went to the Mirror Universe, but Deep Space Nine did a few times, and Enterprise did once. It's a sequel to the Enterprise episode when they went to the Mirror Universe, and it's like 100 years later. So as far as Enterprise is concerned. So the Discovery ends up in the Mirror Universe. Lorca is apparently in on some of it. Indicates that knows a little more about it than he should. They go to this debris field and they find this computer core. They send Tyler out to get the core, and he's freaking out again. He comes back to the ship and he wants to be examined in the medical bay. Stamets is incoherent and insane. He's babbling like a Cillian because he's been zapped by the Cillian guns. And not really Cillian, but the mycelium drive. Yeah, this thing is like Silly Track. But as Mark's cards pointed out, it's also like Halo, doing that whole thing. And also that next season, the Red Angel thing, it's also like Halo. Yeah, they're doing that. But we thought of the name Red Angel back in the 90s, long before Deep Space Nine even existed. So, 1992. So, but they're copying other stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, so this doesn't have Red Angel yet. This is the Mirror Universe. So we have that's season 2 of Discovery, which is more like ours. But only coincidentally. If we were actually getting any proceeds from it, that would be awesome. But no, it's just like it. It's just kind of like it. It's probably one of the reasons why I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. So anyway, let's keep going with this. So Tyler goes to sickbay to try and figure out what's going on with him. The doctor does a medical scan of him and determines that something is really, really wrong with him. After he met the Klingon lady at one point who was a prisoner on the ship. And now they're in the Mirror Universe and weird shit is happening. So apparently being in the Mirror Universe turns Tyler into a psychopath. and he kills the doctor. So he actually kills the freaking doctor. He breaks his neck after the scan because the doctor figures out that he's been modified and he's actually this Vok character. I guess you can see that from the scan, and also his bones have been messed with, his height and everything has been messed with, and I don't know why they did that, but yeah. It's like, they really desperately tried to make him look human. I guess, yeah, Klingon into a human. But yeah, I saw it coming a mile away. Everybody did. Also because the actor is the same guy. Yeah, so we have this. How they did that in only a few weeks is ridiculous. Yeah. But I guess if everybody has a transporter beam thing, they have the ability to medically do anything they want. Which means they can literally fix any ailment they want, or do anything they want, really. They don't really do that. They actually have procedures, apparently. But, anyway, so while this is going on, he figures out the procedure. Which does beg the question, why didn't the doctor ever do a scan on that guy? Ever. Until now. It's like, the minute you come on board the ship, even Mark Scards was talking about this, because he'd heard about it. You come on board the ship, he'd seen it. And it's like, you're obviously the bad guy, or the spy or something. You're not the bad guy, but you're freaking out a little bit. The doctor's going to do a scan of you and determine something psychologically wrong, if nothing else. And then they're going to do a further scan of you, your DNA, and the transporter is going to also have your DNA. So it's going to be able to figure it out, immediately. Oh, the pattern buffer's weird. You're Jim. It's like when McCoy said, "Jim, this man is a Klingon," and he scanned him with a scanner only a few years after this movie. So they should have been literally be able to test his DNA immediately and said, "Oh, this man is a Klingon." Yeah, so it's like, come on. But it's not even a surprise. So, the cat's meowing. But yeah, so he's a Klingon. And so we're in the Mirror Universe, and apparently they discover that Tilly is the captain of the Discovery in this universe. Lorca's missing. Wink. Lorca's probably the mirror one, right? Probably. And they haven't revealed who the Empress is, but it's going to be obvious because since Giorgio doesn't exist in this universe, it's going to be Giorgio. Because who else would it be? They'd have a cast together for Riker's episode here, Jonathan Frakes' episode, and Silly Kelly. And of course, they call her Killy because he was on the set. Yeah. So, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and then they torture him at the end, which is funny. But yeah, so he went crazy. Tyler went crazy. It mates up with a Vulcan lady after she takes over the version of the Discovery, not the Shinzao, which is the ship. Not to be confused with Giorgio, who was the captain. So basically, Burnham takes over the Shinzao, which isn't destroyed in the Mirror Universe, and takes off at warp speed to go to the Terran Empire and find out what's going on. The Discovery, I guess, is left behind. She's talking to Vok on the Tyler has escaped to the Shinzao with her, and he's psychotic, and he's killed the doctor. Apparently the captain hasn't found this out yet, and he warns her psychotically that, if we do anything here, we're together on this, and it's like, okay, that's a little creepy. As a part Vulcan, she should be able to detect there's something weird about that guy. But yes, so that's my kind of uptake review of the whole episode. And they're on their way. So yeah, it's not bad. Good episode. So yeah, it just took a while for Discovery to start getting good and a little good enough. And yeah, it reminds me of, it's not Silly Trek, but it reminds me of Silly Trek and Silly in Space and all that other stuff. Because Star Trek has been borrowing from us, and we from them, since the 1980s, since TNG started. So it's been, for 31 years, we've been cross-pollinating ideas and stories and sci-fi things, of which you will see some of our stuff when it comes out in 2019. You will see, oh yeah, it's a lot like Star Trek, but not really. It's pretty close, though. It's not, though. But it's real close. Yeah, so Did these guys write for TNG and Deep Space Nine back in the day? We didn't directly. We did have, or at the contest, but we did not directly. We did edit and help out with some fanzines and zines and stuff during the time period, some of which they went on to do other stuff, and some Transformers fanzine stuff back in the day. Yes, the all Transformers mush and all that. We were there. Yeah, so a couple of the stories ended up out there from that time period. Not these stories, the story themselves. Stories that were written about the fan films. Yeah, that weird one about MC. The one of the first DS9 short story gross stories from Generations and the Deep Space Nine and First Contact and all that. There were 2 or 3 stories by a Kal Kat associate who MC, and they ended up at conventions and were later reprinted apparently, and were mentioned later on by the slash fiction lady, and she was back last year. She was there the year before. She was back last year, and last year I mentioned that I mentioned to her that yeah, I'd found some of the Transformers ones. I was gonna put them back up, but she's all cool, yeah. And as for CM, I said, yeah, I asked CM, since I know who that is. I said, really? If I could put up their Deep Space Nine stuff again. He said, yeah, go ahead. So, so we might put that up too. We'll see. Under a pseudonym. But anyway, this, the Mirror Universe story. Don't look for those other things, though. Has nothing to do with that. But yeah, CM is a... anyway, so... yeah, Mirror Universe story. I guess I should watch the next one just because next one. So I will.